Hey everyone, Dr. Baron Grutter here. So if you've ever taken one of my courses, you know that I'm very big on delegating, utilizing the team I have around me to increase efficiency and try to get things, sort of share the workload. Because honestly, I don't want to spend any more time than I have to on the computer. As much as I enjoy it, I do need to be out working elsewhere. And so I do try to hammer home the type of things that we can delegate to an extra team member, an assistant, or whomever that is. And so this video is really keyed in on just that, how to set up a case so that you, the doctor, or whatever technician can go in there and have it all set up. All you have to do is position the implant, position the tooth potentially, to help you know where the implant goes, and then design the guide. So this video is purely going to be about setting up the case, bringing in the patient DICOM, and then bringing in the patient STL scan. So this is for any of assistants watching. Hopefully this will be helpful on that end. So for now, we're going to start up a new project. Now you can come up here to File, New Project. Be aware you're not looking up for Open Project. Open Project would be as if you've already started a project, you've saved it, and you're coming back to work on it. So New Project from CT Scan. Or in my case, I actually have a folder that what we do is I have my assistants export the DICOM, that's the 3D, that's the file format for the 3D scan, the cone beam scan, and they also export the STL models, the maxillary arch, the mandibular arch. This is coming, my DICOM is coming from a Sirona CT machine, and this is coming from the CareStream CS3600. Now, I'm not going to walk through that part because every machine is a little different on how you export those, so I'm hoping you know how to get those. And this is in one folder. You can see in my Dropbox we have office file storage, here's the name of my practice, patient files, implant cases. Scanned means we have various folders depending on what we're looking for. We've got scanned cases, scans that have already been designed, now that they've been printed, once the implants have been placed, and once they are complete. We also have a folder for freehand and just old cases that just never got a chance to get organized. So this is that folder, has everything in here. So I can actually create a new scan by simply grabbing this and dropping it right in here. Sorry, grabbing the folder, the DICOM folder. This little file right here is just a file that helps the software to know how to read this. It's not actually needed for Blue Sky Plan. Copy that in here. Now it's going to open up that CT machine. That CT. All right, click OK. That's just making sure it's the right scan. Now, I've mentioned this before in my other videos. This right here is important because if you've taken the scan with the patient's chin up or the patient's chin down, this is your opportunity to fix this. You want to get the plane of occlusion fairly parallel to these square lines. You can crop it down if you want to get rid of extra data that's irrelevant. Not a big deal, not real important right here, but that's something you can do. For instance, if you have a large volume scanner where it gets the whole skull. All we need is the mouth here. So this is all lined up. We're good to go. I'm going to click OK. The software is going to try to generate this pan curve, this line right here. It's going to try to guesstimate. It does a pretty good job most of the time. And now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to bring in the maxillary arch, because in this case we're planning an implant for this tooth right here. This tooth is failing. He actually fractured it off below the gum line, and so we're going to be looking to place potentially an immediate implant in this site. We're just getting prepared for surgery. So I'm just going to grab this maxillary STL, and before I do that, you can also come up to File, Import STL Model. You can do that. You do not need to if you just have this little folder already open. Drag it and drop it. The software will try to register this. Let me minimize this window, and here it is. Now, the cool feature that's in the software now that before I made my previous videos is this automatic alignment button. It doesn't always work. I haven't tested this case, but I would say so far in my experience it's been about 98% successful. Very predictable in how quickly and accurately it works. So hopefully it is just as accurate on this case. To me, it looks like it's pretty darn good. This isn't the best view to evaluate. Neither is this. A lot of people jump to this one. I don't recommend that. We're just going to click OK regardless. And now I can, this little view up here, I can grab this little slider bar and I can watch the outline of these teeth and make sure that it's outlining the CT data. All is well, looking good. I can also look one more time right in here, this view, and just slide this bar up and down. You'll see the teeth. The green outline disappears at the same time that the cusps are disappearing. So that's looking up and down. So we know we've got a good stitch of the data. If that's the case, we're pretty much set. Now, I like to bring in the opposing arch, so I'm going to show you how to do that as well, and to bring it into the correct bite. If we just click on this, drag it in here. I am not going to do automatic, because if I do, it's going to align it to the lower arch. That sounds great, but the problem is when we took the CT scan, the patient's mouth was open. So if I want to put this in occlusion so that I know that the bite is right, I don't want to do that. So I'm going to click Cancel. I'm going to maximize this window because I want to watch this for a second. If I come up to our Surfaces panel, go to Panel, Surfaces, or it might be already up over here. I can click right here to hide this. This is distracting for me. I do want to see the maxilla. Now we already aligned this model. This model is already lined up to this STL, or to the DICOM, the patient's DICOM. But how do we get this to line up? Fortunately, it's super quick and easy. If I come up to Panel, Model, Manipulation, and just say Auto, or sorry, don't worry about that. Just click on Align to Model. Make sure this box is unchecked. It's trying to align it to the maxillary arch. Just click OK. And see, because the data sets were similar when they were created in our CareStream scanner, or your OmniCam, your Trios, your whatever scanner, your Medit, whatever scanner you have, these data points were aligned together. We just moved the green one to the maxilla, and so by clicking Auto, it automatically brings the blue right to where it's supposed to be. So that's it. We are actually done. At this point, you can go ahead and whoever's planning the implant can go ahead and add the virtual tooth. We can digitally extract this tooth, add a new tooth in there if you want, map nerves, plan the implant, and so forth. But at this point, the case is all set up and everything else is pretty quick and easy, and this is what I recommend delegating to someone in your office. Bringing in the CT scan, bringing in both models. Now we're just going to click on Save the Case. You can't see where I'm saving this because, well, just for that discretion, I'm sure you understand. But I'm just going to change the name of it to example. I usually just say the tooth number 14 plan. So, and actually, sorry, I do it guide plan. Because we have other modules like the denture module, the ortho module, and whatnot, if I just change this to the patient's last name and first initial, so to make it a little easier, Doe, J, so Jane Doe, number 14, guide plan. If I'm doing ortho, I could do ortho plan. Denture, denture plan. But now I save it, and now I can walk away. We can open this up in another computer, open wherever else, and this case is all set up, ready to go. Alright, so I hope this tutorial helps you guys get some of the delegation going on in your office, and let me know in the comments if you have any questions.